You good?
James, how are you?
What's happening, man? I'm good, man. I'm good. You all right?
Mate, a pleasure to have you on the Gunman Insta Live. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, man.
Always a pleasure. It's not a show without you on. So, for those that do not know this man, he is a veteran of the game. He is from the golden era of the Queensbury Boxing League. National champion, strap season baby. This guy is one of the most sought after fighters in the history of the league. He joins us today, and we are going to go on explore his journey. Any questions that you guys have, please pop them into the chat. We need to know what makes this man tick. So welcome on board. Welcome to the Gunman Insta Live. How you feeling, big man? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah.
Right?
How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I can't complain, man.
Good. Sound check, camera check. Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm all good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so as I just mentioned, look, you're from the golden era of the Queensbury Boxing League. And when I say that, it is because when I started going to shows and boxing shows, I used to watch fighters like yourself. And in that era under Queensbury Boxing League, there was Bilal Fawaz, Jimmy Horney. I'm going to do some injustices here by not mentioning certain people, but Ronnie Chisholm, I think, Midday, Lee Cannon, James Osborne. The list goes on. It was a really rich time for the organisation, and I kind of feel, and it's just my opinion, I kind of feel that since it's turned to Quest, it's a different caliber of exciting fighter, in my opinion now. And that's why I call it the golden era of Queensbury Boxing League. Do you see it the same way as I do?
Somewhat, but I think obviously things have changed. Ross Mitner's left, so it's not the same thing as the two-man job that was going on with him and Alan. So Alan's having to do everything on his own now. So before there was a lot of trials, you know what I mean, stuff like that. So I think it will get there. It's like, I don't think Queensbury would have been like that in the beginning. They would have needed, you know what I mean, a couple seasons to build themselves up, build their name up. So I think Alan's just going through the same process.
Yeah, no, I don't want to do Quest fighters any injustice, and that's not my mean. That's not what I mean to do.
Yeah, no.
Quest, fighters. There's some good young talent on there, and we'll come on to one of your proteges in a moment. But yeah, I'm just saying, when there was Fawaz and Midday and yourself.
Don't forget Ace Adams, don't forget Ben Davies,
Kane Baker. Oh, mate, like I said, I'm going to forget names because I'm going to miss people out, because it was just a depth of talent. Like, honestly, I went to a show in Crawley. I can't even remember the date. It was years back, but literally every fight could have been a main event. You know what I mean? Yeah. Every fight could have been. And you were one of the main co-main event, I think. I'll pull that up later. But yeah, like every fight could have been a main event. So it really was a beautiful era. And I kind of just look at, someone like Dexter Horton, great fighter. He's been across to both the promotions. He kind of struggled to, I'm sure he won't mind me saying this, he struggled to stamp his authority when it was Quest in your area, in your era. However, he's cleaned up in Quest. He's cleaned up all the belts within 1 year in Quest. So, yeah. So, one question I want to ask you: when will people stop saying that boxing is a young man's game? Do you see it as a young man's game, or do you think experience is more key?
I think it's a bit of both, I think it is a young man's game as far as longevity and time. If you look on the pro side of things, or even even amateurs and the Queensbury or Quest or whatnot, you've got a lot more time to take your time as far as building yourself and the fights. And obviously, if you jump in the game and you're a little bit older, you've got to kind of jump in the deep end straight away. So as far as building yourself, definitely a young man's game. As far as experience, yeah, you're never ever gonna knock experience. You look at what Better B have done, you know what I mean, on the weekend to Callum Smith. He's looked at as an old guy, and you know what I mean, kind of at the end of his career, but as far as experience and power, you know what I mean, they would have taken points in that fight.
Yeah, I've mentioned this a few times, but you know, people well experienced in the game, they will say boxing's a young man's game. But if I ask you to pull up your pound for pound list now, you'd have Canelo in there, you'd have Beterbiev in there, you'd have Bivol in there, you'd have Fury, Terence Crawford, Spence Jr. You know, these are all Jet Spence Jr. These are all people that are deep in their 30s. Even the fight at the weekend with Buatsi and Aziz. Aziz is 34. Buatsi's in his 30s, 30. So, actually, experience is key. And I think, even as you're viewed as a veteran of the game, you're still a dangerous fighter. You still got, you've got vast experience and you can still take out a younger lad with less experience. If you've done 500 rounds and someone's only done 10 rounds, that's a huge advantage to have. Is that not right?
100%. As far as that, experience with the amount of fights you've had and the rounds you've done, you know, I mean, it's definitely the experienced man's always going to come up on top. But yeah, these young guys, man, I'm telling you, like, I think they're going to prove themselves coming down the line, especially if you're going into the big fights, 8 rounds, 10 rounds, 12 rounds, that youth starts to play a big role, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but in the shorter fights, the older guys, sort of short of 3 round, 5 rounds, unlicensed boxing, an older veteran can completely outfox a younger kid just by, knowing when to tie up and whatnot. So, so why did you leave Queensbury Boxing League?
So it's not that I left. I'd got to kind of like the most I could do on it. You know me, I was national champion.
Yeah.
Headlined a couple times. Fought Osborne, another undefeated guy. So my main thing with the Quest thing was turning pro. You know what I mean? And kind of thinking, okay, well, they've done me a favor as far as building up a profile, getting used to selling tickets. Because their setup is basically the pro setup, 2-minute rounds. So I'd kind of built up, going through everything as far as, you know what I mean, like same day weigh-in, the ticket sales, whatnot. You know what I mean? The last fight I'd done, I was like done over 200 tickets. So it was a thing where I thought, okay, cool. Well, I've got a good CV now where if I now go over to the pros and I can put bums on seats, and I'm kind of soaked up enough experience as far as what they were doing, as far as just to transfer that onto the pros. So yeah, it wasn't like I left to go somewhere else. I just kind of that's their job. Their job is to grow you as a fighter, grow your profile, and then move you on to bigger things. You know what I mean? Alan was quite happy to see me leave and go do the pros. You know what I mean? COVID came along, and then that just put a delay to things. And then the court case running, which was pending prior to like just COVID getting started. So couldn't get a license after COVID basically went away, and I still had to deal with the case. The case I just concluded my court case October last year.
Yeah,
I had to deal with that. Then I've had a cornea injury on my left eye, so waiting on surgery on that. So
wow, that's a lot going on.
And in the end, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you answered a few of my questions coming up here, but you answered them in one spelled swoop. I was actually going to ask, so when can the fans expect you to turn pro?
So I went and done all my interview and whatnot with the boxing boards and everything, but just because of the pending case and whatnot, I couldn't really go and do the final steps. And even right now, I'm on curfew. You know what I mean? So I managed to avoid a prison sentence as far as what my case was related to.
Yeah.
And so
well, let's come on to that. I mean, you were a naughty boy, weren't you? You've been a naughty boy. And
I wouldn't say naughty, man. You know, like
I said it.
Where I came up, I was just trying to make ends meet. You know what I mean? And it's another thing that I wanted to touch on here today. I feel when you come up a certain way and certain opportunities present themselves, it becomes like the normal day to day. So yeah, I was, you know what I mean, effectively selling drugs. You know what I mean? And obviously got
so how did you get caught?
So it was like my co-defendant. So someone I was basically working with as far as what I was doing, they got caught. And when I went to the house to basically pick something up, police were there. And then bang, I was involved in a case. A couple other guys got picked up. And because no one was speaking, it became a conspiracy case. So because no one was saying, okay, yeah, this is the main man, or this is the work, or this is this, everyone just done a no comment interview. Yeah, it becomes some conspiracy case. So that dragged out for about 3.5 years.
Wow.
Obviously, police have to go through phones, trying to do whatever surveillance they're doing, and obviously constant interviews, hoping that someone changes their statement as whatnot. So I had a money laundering case attached to it as far as money that they seized at my property and whatnot. So in the end, because their case was kind of dying out a little bit, I just had to, just got offered a deal as far as just go guilty on intent to supply, which carried a minimum of 4.5 years.
Whoa.
So I was looking from 4.5 to 7, depending on the judge. And then obviously, yeah, just avoided the 10, you know what I mean? And going guilty on that, going guilty on that gives you a third off the sentence at the end. So to me, starting from 10 years to then end up like, okay, well, I could get it down to 4.5 and then get a third off that and then go do 18 months. Started to look a lot better, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, as far as like what they found on the phone and as far as what they had everyone doing, I was bang to rights, you know what I mean? So I could never go on a not guilty and stand in front of a jury and say, yeah, I wasn't involved. So
was all this court case that was potentially going to see you go behind bars, was that going on whilst you were boxing?
So this, no, it happened right at the, so I fought, the last fight I had was November 2019. And then the court case, basically all this started March 2020.
Right.
But yeah, while I was boxing and whatnot, yeah, I was selling drugs. I was selling drugs before certain fights. There was times where I had to fight at 10 o'clock in the night time and I'd be out on road at 8 o'clock. I mean, so
so would you just serve up absolutely anything you could, or did you?
No. I'm not going to say anything.
Was it just the whites, the greens?
Yeah, just the white. It's obviously bad. Obviously, when I look back on it, but yeah, it wasn't no crack or heroin. It wasn't nothing like crazy. Not no nitty stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so, but you just did that as an end to make, as a means to make ends meet, you know, because obviously the dosh is decent and it's light work, really.
Yeah. So at the beginning, when the boxing started getting a bit serious, I was doing the amateurs. It basically, I kind of got to a crossroads. There was a bunch of guys in the gym that were doing the amateurs properly, and a bunch of guys in the gym that were on the roads. So it kind of got to the crossroads of, okay, I'm either gonna dedicate myself to the boxing, do everything properly, and obviously, you know, with the amateurs, you're not getting a penny. You know what I mean? So go get a job, do the amateurs, work hard and train hard for the next 5 to 6 years, and then, you know what I mean, just make sure that at the end of it, try and turn pro or whatnot. And then on the other side, there was like, okay, lavish lifestyle, the girls, the money, nice cars, you know what I mean, good status or whatnot. So at the time, I chose the wrong road. I went down the road of, well, let me be a drug dealer. This is paying the bills right now. This is making more money than the boxing's making. I'm going and doing amateur fights and busting my balls, and all I'm getting is a free meal when I'm going to amateur fights. So when I look,
it's hard work boxing, and you're not getting paid.
Yeah, when I look at people like Boatsi, you know what I mean? I was around Boatsi when he was like a junior, going into the seniors and whatnot, and he just stuck to it. He done everything he was meant to do. Box well in the amateurs, managed to get on a GB squad. So I might not have made no GB squad as far as like my age or whatnot, but if I just dedicated myself and was patient, I think the main thing I learned from my case was being patient.
Yeah.
If I was patient and just stuck to the boxing, because I was talented, I had, you know what I mean? I wasn't going to I wouldn't look at
certainly were your record
world champion or whatnot, but I had enough talent to go out and win a British title and win, you know what I mean, a European title or whatnot. So I just wasn't patient at the time. I just saw something that was there right now. I could have it all, and then something where, so I was still doing the amateurs alongside when I was doing my thing on road.
Yeah.
Still doing like the Queensbury stuff and whatnot while I was doing my thing on road. But you get sucked into the lifestyle. You know what I mean? So if there's anything I can say to like the young people that are out here doing their boxing, it's just that you just got to believe in your craft. And if you really want to get far and you really want to make something of yourself, the main thing is just to just be patient and just trust what you're doing. Because there's people like Joshua Buatsi that done it the right way. He went and done the juniors, won the ABAs, won the senior ABAs, went on to the Olympics, won a bronze medal, and then all the promoters are running after him. And now he's going to be headlining in a couple of weeks' time. You know what I mean? He's making good money out of the game. So he's making more money in the game than I could ever like try and have made drug dealing. You know what I mean? I made some good money doing it, but when it's all said and done, he's going to leave a good legacy behind for himself. As far as like the road or whatnot, that's what you leave behind. You're just going to either go to jail or get killed, and that's not really something I can leave behind for my son as whatnot. You know what I mean?
No, that's really beautiful and touching what you're saying there, and it's inspirational that you've really turned your life around, and boxing's helped you to do that. So let's get back to the start then. So people want to hear about the knockout kid and the talented combination puncher. So when did you start boxing? Were you born to fight or did you learn to fight?
I don't know. I was doing a little. I think just like anyone's gonna tell you, had a couple fights on roads. So I knew how to look after myself, you know what I mean? So I started off at Queensbury Boxing Academy with Shane Sobers. And my initial thing when I joined the boxing gym was to quit smoking. I wanted to go there, quit smoking. My son had just been born. I just wanted to change my life as far as just getting fit. And the more and more I was there, stopped the smoking, started getting fitter. And obviously the fit I'm getting, I'm learning more. I'm doing a lot more in the gym. I'm starting to spar and whatnot. And I started getting in with the guys that I started with and outclassing them. And obviously Shane saying to me, listen, like, you've got a bit of talent here. Just keep doing your thing and then look to have a bout. You know what I mean? So, yeah, just kept doing my thing for the next couple months. Talent's starting to build up. I'm starting to really start to get a style. And then, down the line now, I think it was a big thing, especially in the amateurs. You know, when your coach comes over and gives you, like, you know what I mean, your vest and shorts and whatnot. And you like, I'm ready. You know what I mean? He feels I'm ready. And I felt like even coming into it, I was ready. But, you know, like, Shane done his thing properly, had me wait the right time. Just as soon as I hit the road, I was ready to box, keep boxing, you know what I mean? And obviously just learn as I went. And then, done the amateurs.
Do you remember your first fight? Vividly?
I remember my first fight. Yeah, it was at Balham. It was at Balham Boxing.
Balham ABC.
That was 2000 and end of 2014. I can't remember the guy's name. But I remember walking out. 75 in the amateurs. The guy was big African guy, man. And when I put my eyes on him, I was just like, wow. Like, and that's you know what I mean?
A small hall gym now.
With Shane had taught me how to box. Shane had taught me how to obviously have a tear up if I had to, but very, very defensive as far as the coach Shane was. Shane was like really sweet signs from the get-go. Hit, don't get hit. Beautiful. So then, I just went out there, outboxed the guy, won every round.
Were you nervous?
So then I started to really trust my boxing at that point. I thought, you know what, I can get with these guys. And I was fighting a lot of these big guys, just going out there and outboxing them. So obviously winning, confidence is growing.
Were you nervous first fight?
Oh, yeah, very nervous. Very nervous. Yeah, especially when I saw my opponent, you know what I mean? this guy's a big guy, you know.
Francis Ngannou comes walking out, you're like, oh my, what's the matter? You know.
I think with the boxing, I think, or just like anything, I always wanted. I think as soon as I knew I was gonna fight, I always wanted to see how far I could take it. So even though I was nervous, I was more nervous about impressing Shane. I more wanted to show my coach, like, look, we've been doing this in the gym for so long, and now I wanted to show him, look, everything you taught me, I'm doing it by the book. You know what I mean? So I was more nervous as far as
my performance.
Listening,
and not letting anyone down.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I had a couple of family. You know, you do the amateurs, you always got about 4 or 5 people come in. So I wanted to show them and whatnot. Yeah, just obviously you want to get a win in your first fight, just to get the ball rolling. So nerves, but good nerves. Nerves, just so I wanted to perform. You know what I mean?
So So you was with Shane and it was at Croydon Boxing Academy. So can you just talk through the fans that don't know you so well? So how many amateur fights did you have, and how did you end up moving into the unlicensed boxing arena?
So I had 10 amateur fights, won 8, lost 2.
Very good.
And then I broke my hand. So I was out for about a year, had surgery on my right hand.
Mm-hmm.
I was out for a year. And then when I got back, I thought, you know what, cracking on a little bit with the age here. If I start going back into the amateurs and whatnot, as far as the ABAs and whatnot, it's going to take time. So a good friend of mine, Steve Albone, he was doing the Queensbury. He said, listen, as far as like boosting you becoming a pro, you can sell tickets here, get used to the pro setup, and there's a lot of good fights in here. They've got televised fights and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So
so you kind of got introduced to it, and off you went.
Yeah. So off I went. I went and done trials at a gym in Red Hill, and then what was it? Like to box. Yeah, went to Like to Box, done my trials,
right?
And I think it was 2000. May 2017, and then I had my debut September 2017. Yeah.
So just reading, I'm just going to quickly read out a couple of comments from some of the supporters. So we've got Kane Baker, I think that's one of your former opponents actually, saying Queensbury.
What is it to say?
It says Queensbury is the best platform to transfer over into the pros. Most shows are better than the pro shows. Now, I was going to say a lot of fighters are going down the unlicensed boxing route because they can actually jump into quite big shows. Whereas in amateurs, you're fighting in small hall shows. You're like your first fight where you said that was at Balham ABC. That's a really small, little, intimidated little hall, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And now, but when you go into these sort of environments, you know, you're suddenly boxing in front of thousands of people on a contract, a TV contract on TV. You know, it suddenly, even though it's unlicensed boxing rather than, you know, decorated amateur boxing, you're actually banging the big stage. You know.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good point from Kane. Let's see who else we've got here. We've got, just going back to the selling of drugs, they're saying Joshua sold drugs, and he's managed to go on and obviously do very well. What else have we got? A few other comments. So I was going to say, so you went off to the gym in Red Hill and you had a few fights with them,
No. So I went to Red Hill for my trial.
Oh, for your Queensbury trial?
At,
sorry, my bad.
In Red Hill. At the time, Shane and Croydon Boxing Academy, they were in South Croydon, but they were looking for a venue. So when I went to the trials, I met Darren Jackson from 2BX. I basically had a trial against one of these guys. I liked how they were. I liked the whole atmosphere. Stuff there. So basically a good friend of mine, Lionel was there. So when I spoke to Lionel, I said, "Oh yeah, like is that the gym you're at?" Blah blah blah. And he was just like, "Yeah." Like, so I basically just rocked up at the gym where the trials on a Sunday. I rocked up to the gym on Monday, and I said, "Look, I like the guy that I've done the trials with. I like what you guys are about. My amateur gym, they got a lot of refurb stuff going on and whatnot. So would you guys?"
So Croydon Boxing Gym, Boxing Academy was being refurbed. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the building that we're in had asbestos, so they were basically looking for a whole new venue. So in the time of that happening, like there had places that they were training and whatnot. But I just thought, you know what, let me just go down.
Yeah.
Darren was in Bromley at the time. I thought, let me just go down there. They've got a base, and I liked what they're about. You know what I mean? The guy that I had the trial with, we had a good spar. So I thought, you know, if he's giving me a good spar like that, I'm gonna learn a lot from these guys. You know what I mean? So that was that was about June 2017.
Right.
And then I was with them until my debut, September 2017. I can't remember the geezer's name in my box, but I knocked him out first round, 54 seconds. So I kind of.
Was that your Queensbury debut?
Yeah, Queensbury debut. Yeah. About 54 seconds.
So you're at TBX now, and so when you started at boxing in Queensbury, you're now at TBX. Is that correct?
I'm now at TBX. Yeah.
Right, brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. And you knocked him out in 58 seconds.
Yeah. Knocked him out 54 seconds. And then, the thing with him, I think he was 4-0 on the show. He was getting ready to fight for a regional title, but I think the guy that he was meant to have the regional title was pulled out. So then it became a thing where I basically was the replacement. So they kind of underestimated me. You know what I mean? They've underestimated me as far as my debut. He's had 4 fights, and even when I spoke to Alan and Ross, they were like, "Oh yeah, like you're getting with him, and don't worry about it. If it doesn't go your way, we'll have another fight." I'm looking at them like, "What do you mean doesn't go my way?" And I wasn't bothered that he had 4 fights. He was more experienced, you know what I mean?
Seb Hallett is saying, and we'll come on to Seb Hallett in a moment, actually. But he said Michael Burrows was his name.
Michael Burrows, yeah.
Guy.
Good guy, Michael, man. I ended up being good friends with him after the fight and whatnot. But yeah,
that's the beauty of boxing, isn't it? That you can fight someone, punch lumps out of them, and then afterwards you can have a beer with them or be friends with them, and you have respect afterwards. I mean, like we've just shown, you're one of your former opponents who you fought, I think, twice.
Yeah.
Because on this live, and
we've all gone out for food and stuff. And I think a lot of good people in boxing, man. Even people that I haven't sparred or fought, I've met a lot of people, good people in the boxing community, just like, you know what I mean, yourself. Yeah, without boxing, I don't think I'd have met people like that. You know what I mean?
Well, we wouldn't have met.
A tight community, right? You know what I mean? When you meet the boxers.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get on to your boxing, because I know everyone's dying to hear about your beautiful boxing career. And so, listen, I think one of the questions I've always wanted to ask, and I think a lot of people want to ask, is about your fight attire. And so can you talk us through, why do you have autism on your fight?
So my son has autism. Yeah, so my son has autism. His name's Hayden. He's had autism as far as like his diagnosis when he was 3 years old.
Yeah.
He's non-verbal. And then, I just wanted to represent. I saw the Smith brothers when they were fighting. Autism. So I just kind of just took it from them, just as far as let me just fly the flag and just raise awareness, you know what I mean? And it was just that good thing that when I was going out to the ring, I was kind of fighting for him. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's really, really good. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's really good that you're educating people at the same time and making awareness.
Yeah.
You know, making awareness of, that's what I should say, really, making awareness of autism. But yeah, no, good on you. That's absolutely amazing. So let's go through some of your fights. I mean, so you basically went, you knocked this guy out, Michael Burrows, on your debut. Like you said, he was four fights in, knocked him out round one, and you went on a remarkable run. Now, you might have to correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think you ended up, was it about 11-0?
9-0.
9-0. So you went on a remarkable run, and with that comes belts, with that comes glory, with that comes fans. People that weren't talking to you before now are ringing you up. And you became a big name on the unlicensed boxing scene. As you said, it comes a bling, comes a flashy life, and people just trying to hang off the back of you. But you earned that. You earned that. You earned those belts. You earned your reputation through your beautiful boxing. And so I'm just going to show people that may not have seen you fight, and you can talk through this if you want. This was when you won, I believe, when you won the belt. Oops, sorry, my bad. Sausage fingers. I think this was when you won the belt, right?
Jordan Tucker.
You put this guy down. Talk us through this little taunt. What's going on with this taunt here? Was it just a flash in the moment? Like,
you know what it is, Jordan Tucker.
Or did you dislike this guy?
He'd never been knocked down before. He'd never been dropped in sparring or dropped in a fight. He was a big guy. He was basically like a light heavyweight boxing at super middle. I didn't even know how he was making the weight, if I'm honest with you. So when I bumped into him and his coach, I said to them, I said, what are you going to do when I knock him down or when he feels the power? And his coach said, mate, he's never been knocked down before. He's never been hurt before. So, better luck, like thinking that you're going to hurt him. So that was round two. So,
so was that a message, or was that because you just didn't like the guy?
No, not that I didn't like him, but I think, you got to kind of let people know you're confident. I was sparring, actually that camp, I was sparring Hot Shot, Dwayne Sinclair. So I was in with some good, light heavy operators. Yeah. And they were like, you know what, like, you're looking good. Yeah. You know what I mean? So in my eyes, I was thinking, if I'm getting in with these top quality guys and they big boys are light heavy, me getting with him with 10-ounce gloves on, he's definitely going to feel it. So my mate, the thing, I think, yeah, come on round one, I boxed quite well on the back foot just to set
Yeah.
the trap up, just to get him coming at me. And then, yeah, round two, I managed to just touch on the back foot, bang the left hook. I worked on the...
Yeah. It was a bit of a lazy jab from him, wasn't it? I'm going to just play this again, actually. It was a bit of a lazy jab from him, wasn't it? It was a bit of a lazy jab that kind of like left him open to your right hand left hook, wasn't it? Hold on, I'm going to just see if I can play it again. Let's see if I can get a good view of it again. Hold on, bear with me. But yeah, it was a bit of a lazy jab from him. I think I'll get a better view here now.
So
Hold
he's
on.
gone to throw a 1-2. I'm basically backing up.
Yeah, but your
and
head was off the line. So I'm
giving
going to
him
try and play it again.
shot. My hands are down so that he shoots the 1-2. I slip out the way and then bang the left hook. So we worked on that in the gym.
So here it is. Yeah, it's a good angle.
Backing up,
Bang, bang.
bang. Yeah, so
Beautiful.
he throws a 1-2. I think with that angle you can't tell.
Yeah.
But yeah, he shoots the 1-2. I managed to get out the way. Bang
Yeah.
the left hook because obviously on the league I was knocking out a lot of guys and hurting guys with my right hand.
Yeah.
In that camp, my coach was like, start working on the left hook a bit more, just so you're not a one-trick pony. Because even in the first round, that's what his coach was saying to him. All he's got is the right hand. All he's got in the right hand. So
yeah, I mean, you've got
they just played into my trap after that. Because boy was like, okay, well, you guys are going to be looking up for this. You're going to shoot your shots, and then I can get the left hook. So yeah, when I dropped him, the tongue out was more like, you guys have said you said I can't drop you, and I've dropped you now. So what's your plan B going to be? I knew they hadn't really set up to get dropped in the second, be down basically 3 rounds in the first 2 rounds. And then, yeah, I won every round.
Yeah.
After that, I won the third, I won the fourth, I won the fifth. I just boxed well. The times I had to sit there and trade, I done it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And, yeah, just boxed really well, won every round. And then, that's how I won the national title.
Yeah. I mean, your right hand was famous on the circuit. It was known for being fast. It was known for being accurate. And it was known for being spiteful. So no wonder people were watching out for it.
You know, into a title fight, you got to kind of bring something else to the table. If you're going in with a right hand and you can't land it, all of a sudden now you've got nothing. So yeah, we just worked on boxing on the back foot, worked on the left hook counter. So that was another moment as far as me showing my coach, like, look, we worked on it. I've gone out there, executed it perfectly. And at that point, I was back with Shane at that point. You know what I mean? He had obviously sorted out his gym and whatnot. So I was with 2BX for the first 6 or 7 fights. And then, basically went back to Croydon. Yeah. And then, we finished off my Queensbury career with and then
you finished off. And then did you go back to 2BX after that? Or did you?
So basically, I think just prior to COVID, I wasn't really boxing. I'd started like my own delivery business, whatnot. So I was just doing that. So I'd get phone calls from Darren Jackson every now and again. Hey, what's going on? How you doing? And yeah, he just asked me, oh, can you come down to the gym and just volunteer with the young kids and just help out? I got a class in the evening, Tuesday, Thursday with some young kids. Which like they obviously like you as far as what you've done with Queensbury and whatnot. So I went down, the kids liked me. Started doing a little bit of training, and then little by little, he just got me back into boxing. So yeah, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have got back into boxing. I kind of just got a bit complacent. Just thought, you know what, let me just build the money up, do the delivery stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah, he basically got me back boxing.
Yeah. So you was coaching down at 2BX as well, right?
I was just helping out with the kids originally.
Yeah.
After that, he basically said to me, you know what, like, as far as your delivery stuff, you're working all day. You can't really train as much as you want to train. I've got an opening at the gym. Come in, do some classes, do some PTs, do your own thing. And this is XYZ what I'll pay you. And yeah, it was good money. I couldn't really turn it down. And he was saying, listen, I'll pay you to train in the morning with the pros. So to me, it was like a good deal. I've got a job, good money, and you're basically paying me to train.
So how long was you there? How long was you there in that stint? A couple of years, or how long?
Just under 2 years. Yeah, just under 2 years.
Yeah, and obviously, it feels like...
see, with as far as like my court case and everything going on. So as I've kind of met him, the court cases just started, and this is why I've made sure, like, okay, let me go out and start working. Let me stay away from all the dodgy stuff. I don't want to get nicked again or whatnot. So
And you
with everything
was on
that's going on,
tag.
when I told him,
You're on tag.
no,
So
so I'm not on tag these times. I'm released on bail under investigation. You know what I mean? So when I've obviously explained my situation, he didn't look at me like, oh, okay, you're a criminal, I don't want you. Like, he was like, listen, you know what I mean? Come and show the kids why they shouldn't be doing what you were doing. Come and guide them in the right way and
yeah,
just
that's really
give
good.
back to the community. And he could see that I was trying to change my life, but I just didn't have any
Yeah.
direction. So he basically gave me the direction as far as, listen, come train, get your life back on the track, have a job where, you know what I mean, you can train, be around your son or whatnot. So yeah, he gave me a really good opportunity just to get back in the gym, get my head down, and obviously just try to influence the kids and show them, look, I'm on bail right now. I was selling drugs or whatnot. Wasn't the right thing to do. I've learned a lot in the time. You know what I mean? I'm working now. And yeah, if I could go back, I wouldn't do it. But as far as you guys, just come in here. You've got opportunity where you're young. You know what I mean? You haven't got to worry about going out and doing a 9 to 5. Just come in here, just train hard and work. So yeah, he gave me a lot of direction as far as guidance to, you know what I mean, help with
Yeah.
the youth. And then I was doing stuff with Shane Sobers down Croydon, and then Adam Ballard. He gave me opportunity. He does the gloves not guns at the Croydon gym in Norbury. So he gave me.
Yeah. So you're back at Croydon now.
No. So I'm at 2BX, but I'm still helping out. I'm just trying to do everything I can.
Oh, so you're back at 2BX now.
No, so I'm working at 2BX this whole time. Obviously, every now and again, I pop down to Croydon. I pop down to see Adam Ballard. But yeah, I'm full time doing all my coaching. 2BX, got me all my coaching badges. You know what I mean? I'm boxing with them. And then this is where the opportunity came to go pro. Darren saying, look, you're down here, you're training. You know what I mean? You're boxing or whatnot. Let's go pro. And obviously, yeah, you can still do your thing with Shane and we'll work together and whatnot. You know what I mean?
So there was a lot of images that came out on social media of you signing a contract. And I think the supporters were now expecting imminently that you were going to turn pro, and that hasn't materialized.
No, it didn't materialize.
Can you explain? There was a lot of rumours of splits with management, splits with coaches. Can you give us a little bit of insight into what actually happened?
Yeah, so obviously I've signed a contract with Darren as far as him being my trainer, him being my manager. But as time started to go on, just because I'm working at the gym and training there, it's mixing the two. You know what I mean? It's my job and I'm working there, so it's more like a thing where I'm having to do a little bit of work sometimes, and then I'm missing out on training with the pros or whatnot. You know what I mean? And then yeah, as time went on, I kind of wanted a bit more from him. And I just felt like he couldn't give me that, you know what I mean? And we were just kind of just coming to loggerheads, you know what I mean? And if I was just boxing there, I think things would have just stayed as sweet as they were. But I think as far as working there, he's expecting me to do certain things as far as work. And I'm having obviously commitments as far as training people, helping out with shows and XYZ. And I just felt like as time was going on, I was kind of losing out on my training. I wasn't getting enough training as whatnot. And he done a lot for me. He took me all over the gaff, sparring people, Adam Azim and Robbie Davis Jr. and stuff like that. So it was,
we saw that.
But
so was it?
We just weren't seeing eye to eye, just as far as the work relationship.
Yeah.
So in the end, because I worked there, I just felt the best thing to do was just obviously just to go our separate ways. You know what I mean? Which, yeah.
Was it your decision to split?
I think we just agreed in the end. We're not getting on. You know what I mean? We're arguing when we're in the gym. Like, the relationship's not good. And obviously, with my trainer, I meant to... I looked at him like a dad. You know what I mean? So if we're loggerheads all the time and we're arguing all the time, it just becomes a thing where I'm going to walk into a ring and we're not going to have that love. You know what I mean? I think as far as your coach, you want to trust your coach and you're going to look up to your coach. And as far as, like, the bond and whatnot, you kind of build that family bond. So it was just bad timing, man. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I've been to 2BX and I've trained there, and it's a brilliant little, tidy little gym. Yes. Anyone who's not been there, definitely give it a go. I think it's a really nice gym, nice and tidy.
As far as the gym,
really good gym,
and as far as the people, that I've got no problem. You know, Billy Jackson, he's down there doing his thing. He's a good pro.
Really good fighter. Yeah, he's doing really well. Big up to Billy Jackson.
Darren's a good coach. Samuel Hepworth is down there as well. So it was never a thing that the gym wasn't good enough. It was just me and him was
absolutely not. Yeah.
And obviously I was getting on in age. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm at that age where I'm grown now. So there's certain things I don't want to hear from a trainer. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm young anymore, so I don't want to be getting told off and stuff like that. He was only trying to do right by me, and he was only trying to help me. You know what I mean? But obviously at the time, I've got the court case pending. I'm facing prison time. I've got a lot going on. The border trying to not give me my license. I've got the cornea injury, so there was a lot going on. So to not have him maybe on my side, obviously when I look back, he was obviously just looking out for me. But we just weren't seeing eye to eye. So it was nothing to do with the gym or him personally.
Yeah, sometimes
I just thought, you know what?
Sometimes it doesn't work out, and sometimes
you just leave. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it think that coach fighter relationship doesn't quite work out, and sometimes the hardest thing is making that call to make a move from both parties. But it's better than staying there and it being toxic and affecting.
Yeah, that's he's just very understood. He's very passionate. So when he comes and tells you something, he's going to tell you with all the full passion. And you know, I mean, sometimes you don't really want to hear all of that. You know what I mean? And obviously, because I'm working there and we're having little arguments about, okay, well, do that and and then the boxing, I just thought, you know what, like, I don't need this right now. I think all the stress is outside, because it was getting to the point now where I was starting to go to court, give pleas and whatnot. You know what I mean? Things started to, it wasn't just on bail anymore. Things were now looking at, okay, well, this is what's going on and whatnot. So everything going on, let me just go. You know what I mean? Set me back with open arms. I thought, let me just do my thing with James for now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be no arguments. I can just focus on the boxing and just focus on the case, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's absolutely, that absolutely makes sense. And so I'm going to quickly just go back to your Queensbury before I wrap up. I'm going to just quickly go back to your Queensbury just to finish off your Queensbury career. Now, this was one of the greatest nights where you was crowned national champion. This feeling must have been amazing.
Yeah, man. I waited. I waited a long time for when I got on there. I would have said I wanted to be the national champion. So to me, it wasn't a surprise. It's what I wanted from the get-go. I wanted to go out there and win the national title. I wanted to fight the best guys. You know what I mean? I wanted to box on TV. So yeah, when the time came to be crowned national champion, it's like I'd worked hard for it. You know what I mean? So no one was going to take that away from me.
Yeah, and it's almost like that moment you could see in your face you'd achieved what you'd set out to do, and then big fight after big fight came. I think you had a double with this man here. You had two fights with this guy and a rematch with him
in the beginning, and it was one of them weird nights. Like the ref wasn't really taking control of the fight. Become a dirty fight between me and Kane. Kane caught me after the bell. The ref disqualified him, but it wasn't really nothing crazy like that. So we spoke after, and I said to Kane, like, I don't want to lose. I don't want to basically win by disqualification, and you don't want to lose by disqualification. So yeah, let's make the rematch happen, and then with the rematch.
I think I was at this show. I think I was at this one. I think I was at one of these ones. I think I was at this one. Oh, and I was at Troxy. I think I went to one of yours at Crawley, actually. But I'm just showing a couple of your fight posters. Like, you really grew big. And it was really a big name.
I had 3 shows. I boxed on TV about 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, so national champion.
I have to do that. You know what I mean? So I think the main thing with the young kids right now, the people that are boxing, they just need some type of direction. They need some type of goal. I wanted to be national champion. I wanted to box on TV. I wanted to headline shows.
Yeah.
So I feel with the young guys right now, they're doing the amateurs. As long as they've got some type of direction and they know what they want to achieve and what they want to get, there's people, you know what I mean, like me, like Shane, like Adam, like Darren, that are happy to help guide people. You know what I mean? I think it's, you got to really go and do this boxing thing. You got to know, okay, I want to go pro. I want to go to the Olympics and I want to do, I think as long as you got some type of direction of where you want to go, you know what I mean? There's a lot of good people there that are ready to help these young guys, you know what I mean, get to where they want to get to.
So we have to talk. I mean, I think it's really inspirational. Your whole journey has been inspirational, and you was a brilliant fighter. Like I said, I said earlier, really good combination puncher, fast hands, a rapid right hand, a spiteful puncher. Good. I think your body punching was underrated, if I'm honest. It was underrated.
I didn't have no stoppages with the body punching. But
No, but
yeah,
you know, they zap
I
you.
got taught
Listen,
to box. You know what I mean? Just bother the bottom, and the head will open up. You know what I mean? Cut the cheek.
exactly. When you're getting a street fight, the last punch you throw is a jab to the body, right?
Yeah.
That's the last punch you throw. But in boxing, it's such an effective shot, and you were really good with that.
Thank
People just look at stoppages to the body, stoppages to the body, but you're just picking up. You were very good, I feel, at picking people away downstairs and making those openings upstairs. I just wanted to just touch on the Osborne KO. So you fought Osborne again. Correct me if I'm incorrect. I think you were 9-0 then,
no, so
and
he was 11-0.
he was 11-0.
You know,
You were 9-0.
okay, 9-0.
Yeah. So it was a mega mouth-watering clash at this level. Two unbeaten fighters, two superb operators. That fight was really, I mean, that guy can hit. He's fighting in a few weeks' time, actually. He's turned pro now. The knockout was devastating. Can you talk us through the knockout and that fight?
So Alan and Ross have come to me. They said, you know what I mean, we've got a guy that wants to fight you. He's 11-0. He's got 10 knockouts. So I always wanted to test myself. You know what I mean? Big southpaw guy. So to me, I'd kind of run through the whole division. There's no one to fight. So I just thought, well, I'm not going to pass this opportunity. Let me see how good I am. And I'm basically on the verge of wanting to go pro or whatnot. So I'm thinking, if I can't beat people like him, you know what I mean, I'm not good enough. You know what I mean? And that's how I looked at every fight I had on Queensbury. If I don't beat you, I'm not good enough to go on to the next level. So I've gone out, boxed him. I've got a lot of people there. He's got a lot of people there. And for the first time in like my whole boxing career, I've lost the first 2 rounds. So normally I'd go out, box very well. I'd always win the first couple rounds. So I'm 2 rounds down. And normally when I think you must know it as well, when I box normally, I barely hear the crowd. I'll always bump into my cousins and whatnot. Oh, did you hear me say this? And I'm just like, nah. But this time round, I think because I'm down low, I can hear, come on, AJ, blah, blah, blah. So crowd is G'ing me up. I come out, I box one in the 3rd round. 4th round, I box really well. I catch him with a good left hook. End of the 4th, wobbles him. Bell goes. So it's 2 rounds apiece. So coach is telling me, just go out there, box really well, but make sure your hands are up. You get me? Like, you hurt him, they might look for a counter. Don't go out there and be sloppy. You know what I mean? Just really box well. Your momentum's up.
Yeah.
Gone out there from boxing well. Managed to back him up. Throwing good shots. And then like it's a hard 5th round. We're both going at it. I've managed to land some good shots. I banged a jab. I've missed the right hand, and I thought, okay, yeah, let me just try catching with the same left hook I caught him with in round 4. I've thrown the hook. My hands all the way down by my waist instead of on my chin. He's thrown the left hook at the same time. He's caught me, and then his hands up, my hands down. Caught me wide open, and got knocked out. First time I got knocked out in my whole life, my whole career. You know what I mean? Yeah, that fight taught me a lot. You know what I mean? It really showed me that, okay, like, if you I'm riding on the emotion that day. I got the crowd, come on, like I'm thinking I've got my title's on the line right now. And it just taught me that day that even though all of this stuff is going on, all the noise is happening, just to stay focused. But I was so worried about knocking him out, I'm forgetting that, if he manages to slip one of these shots and counter, I'm going to be the one on the deck, you know what I mean? So I think I took his power the whole fight. So I started to believe in my head, well, even if he does catch me, he's not going to be able to do nothing. You feel me? And caught me with a good shot. And then, that really, from that day onwards, I was much more on the defense. It taught me a lot because I was more defensive after that. Box much more cleaner. You know what I mean? My head was in the game a lot more.
Fought
I haven't
since then?
since then, but as far as like when I was getting it with the pros and
I was going to ask, why have you not fought since then?
I never made that mistake again. You know,
so why have you not fought since the Osborne KO?
Yeah, just as far as the case, the cornea injury, I was waiting on the surgery, and I couldn't obviously finalize the license. You know what I mean? As far as having a tag on my ankle,
So cornea injury, for those that don't know, isn't that a
No,
retina? Isn't that a retina?
so it's the cover. You've got like a protective cover on your eye.
Right,
So I think it was like my third fight on Quest. My eyeball got scratched, and basically there was trauma to the eye. And obviously,
right,
boxing as time was going on, it was painful here and
right.
there. But as every fight was going on, it was getting worse and worse and worse and worse. So yeah, by the time I fought him, if I got caught in, I could barely see out the eye. But as a fighter, there's a way. So when you're 9-0 and you're just beating guys with an injury, you start to feel like, okay, well, even though I'm injured and even though it's not 100%, I always manage to get the W at the end of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, once all of that was said and done, with the Osborne fight, I got booked in for the surgery. COVID come, delay after delay after delay after delay. You know what I mean? And then, yeah, everything just dragged out. Court case dragged out for 3.5 years. The surgery dragged out. You know what I mean? And then yeah, in the time with all of that stuff happening, I just focused my life on more just doing community outreach programs, just helping kids, trying to guide kids as far as them getting jobs instead of selling drugs, working with taking knives off the street or whatnot. So I never ever looked at it like a bad thing, even though I had the case going on whatnot. I just looked at it as an opportunity to use my voice to guide people to do better things and just to guide the youth. So that's the main thing right now. I had my cousin when I was growing up, my cousin Jason, and he would always be there like, AJ, listen, get a job, do this, do that. So I always had him in the back of my ear telling me, but he didn't live the same life as me. He always grew up and he done things the right way. So because I'm around the boys and I'm on the roads and things are different, even though he's telling me the right thing, I didn't listen because of he was always just a clean cut guy.
Yeah.
Now where I've been on the roads and I've been at the top of, you know what I mean, what the drug dealing game, and I've been there and done it all. I've been around all the top boys. At least when I go and speak to these kids and say, listen, it's not the right thing to do, they come from the same life as them and from the same background as them. You know what I mean? Single mum home. Talking to them, I can relate. They can relate to me a lot more. So
no, they certainly can. Yeah,
because obviously I look at it as far as the case, like I'm not going to be look good at as far as what's happened as far as my case, but I think just because people can relate to me and like, okay, well, he's from the ends and he's done this, the kids are listening a lot more. So just as far as the boxing, just trying to guide them as far as the boxing, and on the ones on the road, just trying to just keep them off the road.
It's beautiful to see that you're giving back. There's loads of people taking this world. Not many people give back. We're going to big shout out to Hezzy J. He says, my broskies. He knows both of us, actually. You know Hezzy. You know Hezzy,
I know Hezzy, yeah. Hezzy's a good guy.
Ben Knights, let me say big up to Ben Knights.
Down at Dynamo. Hezzy's always had my back, man. Good guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy, mate. I've sparred many around with him in those bloody green gloves.
One of the best I've met in boxing. Good coach, very humble, always keeps it real. You know, he's one of them guys. He won't.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Ben Knights as well. I interviewed recently on Tommy Hench's channel. Big up Ben Knights. He's got a big fight coming up. We've got Shine Hard 22 as well. Really great guy. I've sparred him before. But Jesus Christ, that guy can punch. Love to have him. Love to have him on the show. Barnet Boxing Barber. Shout out to him. We've got DJ Mr. Wilson saying, "Love little bro. You're coming good. Only way is up, bro."
Yeah, that's what I'll tell you. But that's my big bro Jason. He was the one that was always trying to get me on the right path. You know what I mean? Obviously, look, so I always look at the court case like a blessing, man. It showed me, and in the time when things were facing jail time, I thought, if I come out of this, what can I do to make sure other people don't end up
We've got
in this position?
Taylor Mitchell, King AJ, hands clapping. We've got Levicki, Wisdom and Guidance, Teddy Gray, one champ.
And look out for, I see Teddy Gray down there. Teddy Gray, very good amateur, down corner to corner. You definitely want to look up. He's the future. Teddy Gray.
Teddy Gray. Teddy Gray, add me up. I'll get him on it.
Coming to the chess boxer. Look out for them young guys, man. JJ from
the chess boxer, I know, yeah.
I mean, guys that you're gonna see as time goes on.
Yeah, the chess boxer I've seen. I'm following him. Yeah, mate. I'm always tracking fighters that I think look good. Always. That's what I do. So, just lastly, because I'm conscious of your time. So you're now coaching. There's two more questions from me. You're now coaching this lad, and this lad, from what I've seen, is a breath of fresh air. For those that don't know, his name is Seb Hallett. Are you? Can you just quickly talk about your coaching role with
Yeah,
him? He's had some cracking
I met
fights.
Seb on Quest. Good friends of him, and Joey Knight. And yeah, like he was leaving the gym. We always used to chat and whatnot. I'd always like speak to him after these fights and assess stuff. And he was in quite a close fight. And I said, you know what, you could have done this, done that. I think you could have done this better. And he said, you know what, like I'm leaving the gym. Can you coach me? And then yeah, we've been rocking since then. I think we've been together for about 7 or 8 fights.
Yeah,
Just
he's a
he
really
was
good
a good
talent. He's
boxer
a
when he
really
met
good
me.
talent.
You know what I mean? So he had
Yeah,
the talent anyway. It was more just me crafting stuff. I just kind of just showed him as far as just sitting down in his shots, and then yeah, he started knocking guys out. And just as far as his boxing, just a bit being a little bit cleaner.
he's huge at the weight. Like he's huge at the weight.
Oh, he is basically almost my height. So yeah, I think like what 5'11". Yeah,
He's huge at the weight. I think he's cheating the scales.
yeah. You know the thing is, he does a lot of like 5Ks on the weekends and marathon stuff. So I think all of the running kind of keeps him down to weight. But yeah, very strong kids. Punches very hard for
Yeah,
lightweight, super lightweight. So
yeah,
very good man. A lot of good potential. You know what I mean?
yeah.
They had a fight a couple months ago. Didn't get the decision, but boxed really
Yeah,
well.
he
It's
boxed
always
Triple
been
M. Triple M's a really good fighter.
always been
Triple M's
improving,
been on the
man.
show.
He was regional champion, national champion. You know what I mean? Didn't really happen at the
How are you finding the coaching side? Do you prefer it to the fighting side?
It's the same, you know. Like on fight night when I walk out with Seb, like I feel like the same nerves. I'm like, oh, it's just like again. But
Beautiful.
I'm
Brilliant.
enjoying the coaching as far as being able to give back. As
Yeah,
far as like what Shane has taught me, Darren's taught me. You know what I mean?
amazing.
As far as like what I've learned from my coaches and then being able
Yeah,
to pass that down, it's a whole nother challenge because I managed to win fights and titles as a boxer. So being able to guide someone to the same stuff, it's like a whole nother challenge. So
yeah, that's
yeah, man, just I'm
brilliant.
enjoying the coaching.
Mate, I love it that you're giving back. And you know me as well. I like to always see people giving back, you know, to the community and giving back to youngsters. And you make that priority in your life, not only just with your food business, but also, you know, which helps athletes.
I
Um,
feel as far as the fighting now, I've done my thing as far as the boxing. I can always just sit there and look at the mistakes I made where I didn't reach the heights. But the fight I'm having now is just fighting as far as helping these kids stay off the streets and whatnot. And as far as
Beautiful.
just being a PT, helping people lose weight and achieve their goals.
Yeah,
And the other fight of just helping people as far as their health. You know what I mean? So I got the
amazing.
CMOS business, you know what I mean? King AJ's.
Yeah, put it on, get it closer so we can see the logo. Look at this, guys. If you have not had a cup of this, make sure you go and get it. I use it myself. It's brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff. Just quickly get tell us the benefits of CMOS. Your CMOS.
So as far as your health, your body's made up of 102 minerals. The CMOS has got 92 minerals in it. Your body is just made up of minerals. So every mineral in your body has a job. And the way the food industry is now, the way there's a lot of people to feed, the soil where they're growing their stuff, it's depleted in minerals. Because as far as the way the plants work, they suck the minerals out the soil and out the rocks, convert it into alkaline form. Your body's alkaline, and then your body absorbs it. But if you're growing food and the soil isn't good, you're not getting your minerals. So CMOS is the same thing, and it's out the sea. So that sucks on the rocks,
It's
gets all the minerals. So this
got quite big for fighters, hasn't it? CMOS.
yeah.
Got
So
quite
this is
big
the
for
best
fighters
way
now
as
to
far
be
as
consuming
just
this.
making
Yeah.
sure that you've got all the minerals you need. So just making sure you've got your iron, your zinc, your magnesium, just making sure your potassium levels are up. So as far as your diet, if you're not having the greatest balanced diet, if you're not getting the best sleep, if you're not consuming all the right stuff, as far as that this country, there's not a lot of sun. So the CMOS is basically the thing just to top everything off, just to make sure all your minerals are balanced. So you've got a good immune system, your skin, your hair, your nails, everything's healthy.
Yeah.
Your
No, you really do feel it.
brain,
Yeah.
obviously, you need to function. You know what I mean? Your brain needs all the minerals. So it's just basically an all-round
Yeah.
health booster for your whole
Yeah.
body, or your whole body benefits from it.
So if you're watching this interview and you're interested in CMOS, make sure you follow King AJ, DM him,
Best,
and he can tell you the benefits, and you can always get a sample of him. I've tried it and it's brilliant. That's all I can tell you. It is really good, really good. I train regularly and it's fantastic. I see a great fighter, Brandon P. Lewis, has just come in. I'm going to get that guy on here. He's a really good fighter if you don't know him. Big up King AJ Shane's 124. And then we've got Peter.
Man, that's my coach right there.
Oh, there's your coach. Big up, Coach Shane. We've heard a lot about you. You sound like a great coach. So listen, just a final message, because we've hit the hour mark and I don't want to take much more of your time. But do you have a final message for the people and the fans?
I just, when I was boxing and when I had my career going on, and even just as far as the CMOS business, I just want to thank everyone for the support that they've given me over the years with the boxing. You know what I mean? As far as like the way the journey's gone, as far as my life, I won't be boxing again. You know what I mean? I'll never step in the ring again. So my journey now is just more as far as helping the kids and just helping.
So you're 100% retired now?
Yeah, so yeah, you've got it here first. I'm never going to box again. I want to help people as far as kids staying off the streets, as far as the knife crime, as far as guiding kids as far as their boxing. I'm helping people as far as PTs losing weight, and helping people as far as, you know what I mean, that are not really healthy, that are going through health problems and whatnot. So that's the fight that's where my heart is right now. My heart's not with the boxing. As far as like coaching and whatnot, I'm always want to give back, and I'm happy to help the kids and help anyone in their career. But my fight now is more about the health stuff and keeping these kids off the street, man. It's just, I'm from Croydon, and it's a bit crazy in Croydon. There's a lot of stuff
to say the least.
It's you get me. It's a crazy jungle over here. So I'm just doing everything I can to influence these kids to not sell drugs, influence them to put the knives down. And there's people like you, man. You know what I mean? You got your state agents. You're doing very well with your job. So there's a lot of good influences like you, as far as Shane's running the gyms, doing good with his
I'm trying to do good with this show. The whole show.
Positive people out there like you, and people that have got jobs and have never, like, even people like my cousin Jason, whatnot, that have got jobs and have never really bothered the roads. And I think these young kids don't realize they can make better money and do a lot more good for other people off the roads. And this is what I'm just trying to show them. You know what I mean? You can go on 200 to 500 quid a day on the tools, and, you know what I mean, working and whatnot. Everything is possible. If you want to become a champion in boxing, it's all possible. I look at people like you see in Ramsey and JJ and Teddy, and they've dedicated themselves to the craft, and as time goes on, they're improving. So I think the main thing is just giving people the light and giving these kids the light, just to show them there's a whole nother world. I done the roads, and I've done all the running around and selling drugs and getting involved with the wrong people. And at the time it's fun, but I've got a lot of friends in jail for drugs, for knives, for murders and whatnot. You know what I mean? And when you look at it at the end, when you get to my age, it's not worth it. At the end, you know what I mean? While you're having fun and all that, and all your friends are there, it's all good. So that's the main message I can give to these kids. Start getting a little bit of direction in your life. You know what I mean? Start hanging around with some good people, and really, really focus on getting somewhere in life where you can help people and do better for yourself. You know what I mean? I got my mum, and I'm always trying to do well by her and make her proud. You know what I mean? So that's the main thing I'm trying to say with these kids. Go out and make your parents proud, whether it's the boxing or whether it's working, and even if it's just doing a simple job, driving a bus or whatnot. I feel in our community, we're missing out on, you know what I mean, a lot of people having voices in the workplaces, and this is where we're losing. I look on the news every day, you know what I mean? It's just stabbings, and there's not a lot of positives. It's either stabbing, drug dealing, or music. And there's so many other avenues, you know what I mean? There's people like you, man, you know what I mean, doing very well in with the jobs that you're doing and selling houses and whatnot. So
and this show that I've set up, I mean, I've only been doing this chat show since November, but it's flying, you know. And I talk to fighters like yourself every week. You know, last week, every night I spoke with different fighters. Every night I put an hour of my time aside to talk to fighters, give them an opportunity to share their journey, to communicate with fans. You know, they only see people that come to these shows. They only see you knocking mans out. They don't see your bad days. They don't see when you have a shit spar. They don't see when you've got a scratched eye and you've got a damaged eye and you've got problems with your eye. They're not seeing that you've got a tag on your foot. They're not seeing that you've got problems with your coach or splits happening. They're not seeing the days where we feel bad when we're fighters. They only see us come in, do a flashy ring walk, perform. People don't understand the fight game. And so this is why I set this program up, this platform up, so that people like you, veterans like you in the game, can really give us an insight into the real life, drugs, the streets, how boxing has changed your life for the better, giving back to people through boxing. It's an amazing journey that you're on. I'm going to let you go because, as I said, I'm conscious of the time. I don't like to run these lives on for too long. But it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, King AJ. I wanted to say that you're a huge inspiration in the community. You're a great guy. You've got a heart and you've got balls of a lion, and I, for one, have really thoroughly enjoyed watching your career as it unfolded. I've been to a few of your fights. It's been brilliant, a brilliant journey, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you for having me on the show. And yeah, boxing.
Anytime. This won't be the last time.
And the platform to be able to reach out to the kids and to at least give them other avenues to go. As far as what I've been doing in the community, this is the reason why the judge put a tag on my foot and allowed me to keep doing what I'm doing in the community. Over the 3.5 years I was on bail, I made sure that I was giving back. So thank you for having me.
Well, Shirley, you're welcome, mate. You're absolutely welcome. And I think Shirley Gantz is saying, Gantz is saying, well done, AJ. Proud of you. And I think she speaks for all of us.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for giving me the opportunity, man. You're doing a lot of good things out here, man. I just wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you, my man. I appreciate that. Appreciate you. Have a good evening.
Brother.
Take it easy. Yeah. See you soon.